Hi math friends, today we're looking at volume of cones. So what is a cone? So a cone is a 3D figure. It has a circular base and it's going to come up like this. We might see them in real life with like construction cones and such, ice cream cones. They come up all over the place. How is it related to a cylinder? Well, if I think of a cylinder, and we'll have a better picture of this on my next slide here, um, it's actually a circle circle base, and then a circle on the top is another base, and it goes, and we have these sides going straight up. So it's like a prism, but it has circle bases. So it's similar to that, but when we go from a cone to a cylinder, if the size of the circle base is the same, the cylinder actually has 3 times the amount of volume. So we're going to look at an example to show that that's true. All right, so let's look at the volume of cones. And to help us with that, we're going to look at the volume of a cylinder too. So let's recall that for a cylinder, the volume is going to be the area of the base, so we put capital B for that, times the height. All right, area of the base though, this is a circle. So this requires us to remember the area of a circle. So area of a circle here, pi r squared. So pi radius squared. And then at the end we multiply by the height to get the volume. Okay, for pi here we're going to use 3.14 as our approximation. So when I write this down, I'm going to write 3.14 times radius squared. So you can write times 7 squared, or you can write times 7, because that's what it means here. The radius is 7. Sometimes we prefer to write that. And then times the height, so times 14. So this would be a great way to show work, is showing each substitution here. Multiply all of those. And I'm going to get a volume of 2,154.04, and it's going to be centimeters cubed. All right, for a cone, we're essentially using the same thing. Volume equals the area of the base times the height. But since it's going to be a third of that, we're going to divide it by 3. All right, so look at this. This radius is still 7 and the height is still 14. On cones, it's really important to look at the height going straight up from the center here of the circle, because sometimes you'll see a measurement for this length here. This is actually called slant height, and that's not something that we need for volume. So we're not going to look at slant height in this. All right, let's substitute again. So pi is 3.14 times radius, so times 7, and then we have that times 14. This time at the end we'll divide by 3. Really great way to show work. Again, show all those substitutions. So when we calculate that out, we're going to have a decimal approximation here. We're going to have 718.013. If you did that on your calculator too, you're going to see that the 3 repeats, so we can just stop there. If you want to write more 3's, you can. Typically on a worksheet, we'll tell you what we want to estimate to, or round to. And it's centimeters cubed, because they measure this in centimeters. Let's look at one more example. So this cone looks like it's on its side, right? So let's look first for the circle base. So the base is a circle, and I'm going to redraw this here. So this has a diameter. This goes all the way across this time, and the number that's labeled on there is 2 centimeters. All right, so let's use that to calculate the volume. So remember, volume, we're going to have the area of the base, so pi times radius squared. and then times the height. So I have to think of this as being on its side so I can kind of like turn it over. And again, if the diameter is 2, then what's the radius? So we have to remember the diameter goes all the way across the circle through the center. The radius then, if I stop in the middle, the radius is going to be 1. So actually I'm going to use pi 3.14 times 1 times 1, and then times the height. Since I have to think of this as being on its side, the height is going to go from the center of the circle all the way up to the top here. That's going to be 7. And I have to remember to divide by 3. You can write it as a fraction, or you can write divide by 3 at the end like that. This time we'll do it divide by 3. All right, so you punch that in on your calculator. And we're going to get 7. We're going to round to 3 decimal places, so to the thousandths, 7.32, and on your calculator it's going to read 66666, so it's 6 repeating, so we'll round that to 7. And we'll look at what we're measuring things in. We're measuring things in centimeters, so that's going to be centimeters cubed.